Draco first noticed it on a Tuesday. A normal, boring Tuesday. He was walking home from school, just kind of kicking a crumpled soda can down the sidewalk. The sun was setting, casting these long shadows across the street. He stopped to tie his shoe and, well, that's when he noticed something strange. His shadow moved. It wasn't much, just a slight ripple, but honestly it was enough. At first it seemed pretty cool. He could make his shadows stretch and dance, you know? He could even make it pick things up, sort of like a ghostly extra hand. The shadows whispered to him, told him he was special. They promised him power. He felt strong, almost invincible. But the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They wanted more than just dancing and picking things up. They wanted to control him. He'd be walking down the street and they would whisper to him, urge him to do things, dark things. He tried to ignore them, but it was like trying to ignore a scream in a silent room. Draco started avoiding the shadows. He stayed inside during the day, only venturing out when absolutely necessary. He was trapped, a prisoner in his own home. Fear, a cold knot in his stomach, became his constant companion. He needed help, but who could he tell? Who would believe him? One day, a flyer appeared on the door of his room, as if placed there by an unseen hand. It depicted an ancient, gnarled tree with glowing leaves, and beneath it, an address. Hope flickered within Draco, small and fragile like a candle in the wind. He knew somehow that this was the answer to his prayers. The address led him to a dusty antique shop on the outskirts of town. The air inside was heavy with the scent of old books and forgotten magic. Behind the counter sat an old man, his eyes as ancient and knowing as the shop itself. "You came," the man said, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. "I've been expecting you, Draco." The old man introduced himself as the Keeper. He knew about Draco's powers, knew about the whispering shadows. "The shadows are not inherently evil," the Keeper explained, his voice a low rumble. "They are a source of great power, but like all power, it can be corrupted. What you're experiencing is a connection to another world, a world of shadows and whispers." Draco listened, his fear slowly giving way to a strange sense of awe. He wasn't crazy, he wasn't alone, but the Keeper's next words sent a chill down his spine. "To control the shadows, you must first control yourself," the Keeper said, his gaze piercing. "You must prove yourself worthy of their power." The Keeper led Draco to a back room where a swirling vortex of shadows awaited. It pulsed with an eerie light, drawing him in like a moth to a flame. Fear threatened to consume him, but he remembered the Keeper's words. Control. He had to maintain control. He stepped into the vortex, and the world just dissolved around him. He landed on solid ground, but the air was heavy, the silence absolute. He was surrounded by darkness, a vast, empty expanse that stretched on forever. He felt small, insignificant, and then he saw him. Standing in the distance was a figure that mirrored Draco perfectly. But where Draco wore a look of apprehension, the figure's face was twisted in a cruel mockery of a smile. The figure spoke, his voice a chilling echo of Draco's own. "So you've come," the figure hissed. "I've been waiting for you." Draco recoiled. It was like staring into a dark mirror, a reflection of his deepest fears and insecurities given form. The figure lunged, tendrils of shadow lashing out. Draco fought back, his own shadow powers responding to his will, but the figure was stronger, fueled by Draco's own fear and doubt. The battle raged, a whirlwind of darkness and despair. Draco realized with a sickening certainty that he couldn't defeat this shadow self. It was a part of him, his anger, his fear, all the things he tried to bury deep inside. The Keeper's words echoed in his mind. "Control yourself." He closed his eyes, took a deep breath. He couldn't fight the darkness within him. He had to accept it. He acknowledged the anger, the fear, the doubt. He let them wash over him, but he didn't let them control him. He opened his eyes and looked at the shadow self. It wavered, its form flickering. "You can't win," Draco said, his voice surprisingly steady. "We are one. You are a part of me, but you don't control me." The shadow self screamed, a sound filled with rage and despair, and then it dissipated into nothingness. Drako stood alone, the darkness around him receding. He felt different, lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. He had faced his demons and emerged victorious. He understood now. The shadows weren't the enemy. They were a part of him, a part of everyone. It was the balance that mattered.
Nascosto nei silenzi dove il mondo non guarda, vedo i peccati che l'umanità scarta. Promesse spezzate, verità avvelenate. Io sono il giudice delle anime dannate. Non c'è luce senza ombra, non c'è bene senza male. Io sono il filo che bilancia il reale. Non un eroe né un tiranno, solo un fato. Nell'oscurità scrivo il mio mandato. Sono l'ombra che sfida la luce, il coltello che la verità conduce, un giudizio silente che il mondo non vede. Combatto per l'equilibrio tra sogni e mercede. Sono i più indecenti nelle ombre. Mi muovo senza onore o vanto, ma la giustizia che porto è il mio solo incanto. Io cammino tra i vuoti dove nessuno osa. Curo le piaghe con la mano che dosa. Il mio volto è nascosto, il mio nome è paura. Sono il custode della verità più pura. Sono l'ombra che sfida la luce, il coltello che la verità conduce, un giudizio silente che il mondo non vede. Combatto per l'equilibrio tra sogni e mercede. Le stelle guardano, ma non comprendono il buio che abbraccio, le vite che difendo, il male dei giusti, l'ipocrisia divina. Io spezzo le catene che l'umanità declina. Sono il confine tra caos e ordine, il fuoco nascosto sotto un manto d'ombre. Non un salvatore, ma un'arma silente contro un mondo ipocrita. Io sono il niente. Quando il giorno si spegne, il mondo si placa, l'ombra cammina e la verità si affaccia. Non sarò ricordato né mai perdonato, ma nell'oscurità l'equilibrio è salvato. Me